Please, former Congressman Michael McNulty will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for our opening prayer. Skip Diamond will lead us in prayer.
Almighty God, you're the source of the life, strength, and purpose. In your presence alone we find health, hope, and life. Guide us toward this hour of fellowship and reflection, and ground the healing reminders of you above all whose lives we let you pray. For it's in your glory we gather and offer our prayers. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, huh? Right face. All right. Oh.
Please be seated. Good morning. I'm Peter K. Goebel, the Director of the Rensselaer County Veterans Service Agency. We have gathered here this morning to honor a deceased Rensselaer County veteran for the month of December, and that veteran is Thomas S. Ostrowski. We are honored to have with us this morning his family members, his wife, Susan Ostrowski, his daughter, Stephanie Ostrowski, his daughter, Kristen Caird, his son, T.J. Ostrowski, his daughter-in-law, Major Tammy Ostrowski, his son-in-law, John Shaw, and his nephew, Bill Mangoyne. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Also with us to honor our Veteran of the Month are Rensselaer County Executive Steve McLaughlin, Congressman Paul Tonko, representing Congressman Antonio Delgado Max Prime, former Congressman Michael McNulty, New York State Assemblyman Jake Ashby, New York State Assemblyman John McDonald, Rensselaer County Court Judge Deborah Young, Rensselaer County Legislative Chair Mike Stammel, Rensselaer County Legislative Vice Chair Kelly Hoffman, Rensselaer County Undersheriff P.J. Higgett, representing the Commander of the Watervliet Arsenal, Earl B. Schoenberg Jr., is Mr. Matt Day. We have County Legislators Mark Fleming, Tom Grant, and Carol Weaver, and Troy Mayor Pat Madden, a family friend. As we are all well aware, Memorial Day and Veterans Day are special days to remember all of our veterans. This program was created to help us honor our veterans all year round. To us here in Rensselaer County, every day is Veterans Day. The Rensselaer County Honor Deceased Veteran Program represents veterans organizations throughout the entire county. This includes members of the American Legion, Disabled American Veterans, Veterans of Lansingburg, Military Order of the Purple Heart, Marine Corps League, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Korean War Veterans, Tri-County Council of Vietnam-era Veterans, Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, Vietnam Veterans of America, AMVETS, and the Rensselaer County Veterans Service Agency. I will now ask Mike Stammel, Rensselaer County Legislative Chair, and the assembled county legislators to come forward to tell us about our honored veteran for the month of December, Thomas S. Ostrowski.
Thank you, and I would also ask that Colonel Tom Walsh come down. Colonel Walsh was a long-time Rensselaer County legislator, as well as one of the men who helped bring this program to the Rensselaer County legislature overall. This will be my final opportunity to address the veterans here at Rensselaer County. My 20-year stint here at the Rensselaer County Legislature is up. I am glad to have the opportunity to read so many bios about veterans of Rensselaer County who made a great difference not only in their communities but in the county and for their nation overall, in going to fight for our country and serve our country in so many different ways. And I've met a lot of great family members as well through this process. And I can only thank the legislative body, our Veterans Affairs people for Rensselaer County, as well as those people here month after month that provide the service to our veterans here. And most of all, I'm also honored to say that to be able to have Congressman McNulty lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance month after month. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. So good morning, all. My name is Michael Stammel, and I am the chairman of the Rensselaer County Legislature. It is my honor to welcome everyone to our monthly Honor of Deceased Veterans ceremony. Our legislature has a rich tradition of honoring all of our veterans, and the ceremony reminds us to pause and honor all of the men and women in our communities that have fought for our freedom and helped build Rensselaer County and United States of America. Today we have the honor of celebrating the life of Thomas S. Ostrowski. Thomas was born in Brooklyn, New York on April 7, 1943. His parents, Bruno and Frances, later moved the family to the Catskills, where they attended elementary school before attending and graduating from Hudson Valley Community College in St. Rose with a degree in computers and business. On October 11, 1966, Thomas enlisted into the United States Navy in Buffalo, New York. Serving as a draftsman, seaman, Ostrowski was a graphic designer, creating original art, technical illustrations, graphics for briefings, visual aids, and publications for the U.S. Navy. On May 24, 1969, Thomas married Susan Ann Mangone at Sacred Heart Church here in Troy. On July 1st, 1970, Petty Officer Second Class DM2 Ostrowski was honorably discharged from the United States Navy by the authority of the Commander, Amphibious Group 2, for his honorable service to his country. DM2 Ostrowski was awarded the National Defense Service Medal and the Navy Unit Command Ribbon, Commendation Ribbon, I'm sorry. Thomas returned to civilian life and married, settling in Troy, New York, with his wife Susan. Together, they raised their 3 children, 2 daughters, Christian and Stephanie, and son Thomas TJ. Thomas supported his family through the employment of the General Electric, where he worked on a large turbine division as an engineer draftsman, retiring after 32 years of service. Thomas was an active member of the Trout Unlimited Home Waters chapter and early engine club of Scaticoat. A communicant of the Sacred Heart Church, Thomas enjoyed working the bingo games and serving as an usher. Thomas was an avid fisherman, a fly tyer, and was a fly fishing instructor for Trout Unlimited. In his spare time, Thomas enjoyed taking photographs, woodworking, making birdhouses, and spending time with his family, especially being the greatest pop in the world to his grandchildren. That's always great. Sadly, on October 1st, 2018, Thomas passed away. Left behind to cherish in his memory are his wife, Susan, his daughters, Kristen and Stephanie, and his son, TJ, Thomas TJ. His grandchildren, Abilene, Natalie, Emily, and Tegan, his daughter-in-law, Tammy, and his 2 son-in-laws, James and John. Thomas was preceded by his parents, Bruno and Francis, and his sister, Barbara. Thomas is buried in St. Jean Cemetery, Troy, New York. Today, we pause and honor the life and service of Thomas Ostrowski, another Rensselaer County veteran that answered the call to serve our country, and then returned home to build a good life to serve his community. We join the Ostrowski family in their mourning, and we thank them for allowing us to remember Thomas Ostrowski here today. So Thomas definitely made a mark here in this community, especially you don't hear many people spending their whole life working in one industry all their life again, like 32 years. It's a long time. And it appears like he had an important job, taking what he did in the military and then bringing it home and using those services in the corporation as big as General Electric. With that, I'd like to see if there's any other legislators that'd like to say anything. Tom?
Thank you, Mike. I want to thank Mike for letting me sit in there this morning for Ken Harrington, who couldn't be here this morning. And also, Mike is retiring from the legislature, but he's the mayor of Rensselaer, so he's not really retiring. I usually bust on all the Navy guys when we get them here, but I won't do that this morning. And Thomas was very lucky. He didn't have to really get out and fight in a war, but he did an important job by doing the drafting for the Navy. We have out in the hallway on the left-hand side as you're walking in there a whole bunch of plaques. They're all the veterans that we honored in the past few years. And Thomas's name will be among them next year on the plaque for everybody that was honored this year. Well, thank you very much.
Anyone else?
I will now ask our Rensselaer County Executive, Steve McLaughlin, to come forward.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here with everybody today. And Susan, Kristen, Stephanie, and TJ, thank you for letting us honor Thomas this morning. Good to be with all my colleagues here, and Congressman McNulty, who was instrumental in getting these ceremonies going here in the county. They've been duplicated all over many other counties as well now, so we certainly thank him for his efforts, and thank Peter Goebel and his efforts on behalf of all of our veterans throughout the county. You know, as I look through this, you know, you look at Tom's life there, and this is just a brief synopsis, I'm sure, but 32 years, I'm glad Mike mentioned that. You don't see that very often anymore, 32 years at one place. That's dedication and service. You just don't see that anymore. Rarely do you see that. And then, you know, served the country, came back and used those skills to help out, you know, the same skills, just using those drafting skills and those design skills. And then I look at his hobbies, it seemed like he had to be a very calm, patient guy, right? I mean, not a golfer, not like yelling and screaming on a golf course, right? Frustrated. He's tying flies and building birdhouses and photography, very calm pursuits, which is nice to see as well. So he had to be just a great, calm type of guy. And I'm sure that the job he was most proud of was being the greatest pop in the world. That's an important thing, probably the most important thing to him, raising his family, doing his duty, and just being a great citizen here in Rensselaer County. So we certainly appreciate his life, and we appreciate you letting us honor him today. Going to miss Mike as he is not retiring, but no longer wearing two hats. So we appreciate Mike's service here, but certainly for Tom, we certainly appreciate what he's done for all of us and did for this community. That's just a stable, rock solid type of guy. So thank you for letting us honor him today.
I will now ask Congressman Paul Tonko and Max Prime, representing Congressman Antonio Delgado, to come forward.
Well, thank you, Peter. Excuse me. Thank you, Peter. And an honor to join with the Rensselaer County government each month to say thank you to those who have served us so well. An honor to join with the county exec and the legislators, my state colleagues from the assembly, and certainly want to thank Congressman McNulty for having the vision, the foresight, planting the seeds to have these ceremonies that say thank you to those who have preceded us, that have shown their great sense of patriotism and loyalty to this great nation, and to have defended all for which she means to each and every American in terms of freedom and opportunities that are shared with us because of their courage to serve on the battlefield. And as we honor Thomas S. Ostrowski, it's a special opportunity to be able to meet the families that are connected to these very noble souls. So, Susan, a great honor to say thank you to you for the work that Thomas had done, and to both Kristen and Stephanie and TJ, to honor your dad in this way as family gathers here also to share in this humble moment. And what is so, I think, great about that generation that had served us is that they often didn't talk about their contributions. You know, they were very humble in that effort. And so this morning we say thank you for his work in serving the Navy as a draftsman. Certainly had that particular skill to be a graphic designer and illustrate on behalf of the Navy, to come up with some rather clever designations, I would think. So really awesome to recognize that he served with honor and much decorated, including being awarded that National Defense Service Medal. And so one who really took that role seriously and gave himself and his talents to the betterment of this nation and her military. To then, as it's been said, oftentimes there's that repeat scenario where the skills developed in service to the country through the military are then put into active work here in the States. And his 32 years of service through GE as a draftsman speaks to that given scenario where we develop a very sound bit of talent and opportunity that then gets to work through the private sector and public sector as these individuals return. So we thank Thomas S. Ostrowski for his service through the Navy, making us a stronger nation. We thank him for his undeniable patriotism and recognize that he truly loved the outdoors, which is part of the freedoms that which we share and enjoy. In his memory, in his honor, and our thanks, I joined with my fellow Congress member and friend, Congressman Delgado, who's represented by Max here today, and we had asked that a flag in his memory be flown over our nation's capital. I'll present that to you this morning, and what an honor it is to request such a service to be delivered to one who gave himself tremendously to the betterment of this nation. May he rest in peace. Max.
Good morning, and first I'd like to echo what those who have spoken before me said, and thank the Rensselaer County government and everyone who has helped to organize this event for bringing us together to honor Thomas and his life and service to his community, and outside of his service to community, his pursuits and that which he contributed to his employment and the organizations around him that he involved himself in. I have to say that in reading the biography this week, I saw echoes of a scenario close to my heart where my family this week laid to rest a grandfather and father and husband who was a veteran, an outdoorsman, who spent his entire career with the same employer and was a woodworker. And one thing that I think is nice when you have a relative who's a woodworker is that their pieces kind of carry through their legacy even after they've passed from this earth, and you get to hold those and remember them and see really all of the attention to detail and care that they put into that. And I just saw that, and it just reminded me of that scenario, and I'm sorry for your loss. And just do want to, again, thank you for bringing us here together, and thank Thomas for his service to this country and his community, and all that he did for those of us who live here today. I do have a letter here from Congressman Delgado, who unfortunately could not be here today, but asked me to come in his stead to properly honor Thomas and make sure that you all know how much he cares about Thomas and his service, and wants to make sure he is honored. Thank you.
I will now ask New York State Assemblyman Jake Ashby and New York State Assemblyman John McDonald III to come forward.
Thank you, Peter. It's great to be here. It's always great to see Congressman McNulty and Colonel Walsh and so many of the people that helped get this started. Also want to thank Mike for all the great work you've done here at the Rensselaer County Legislature, and it's been a pleasure to work with you here. To the family, thank you for allowing us to honor Tom. The work that he did in the Navy as a draftsman, I'm sure was great and helped out so many pilots, you know, young junior officers who needed some guidance, who needed to be able to look at a map the right way. But Steve had mentioned it, and a couple of the other speakers, 32 years at GE. And then on top of that, the work that he did with Trout Unlimited when he was home. You know, I'm a fly fisherman, and I'm trying to, you know, pass that on to my son, and it's frustrating work. I'm sure his time as a draftman and time at GE, you know, probably helped prepare him for those frustrations. But I also know other veterans coming back and getting into fly fishing has been therapeutic, and they found a lot of value for that. And if not for guys like Tom, who've been out there as advocates for years and years, you know, helping to secure these waters and treasures that we have out here, we wouldn't have those opportunities. In New York, we have a rich history of that. And so I really want to thank Tom and thank you for allowing us to honor him today, not only his time and service in the Navy, but then what he gave back to the community so deeply and so richly for us here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jake, and good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with all of you, and of course, my colleagues in elected office. You know, it's interesting when Steve had referenced, you know, he must have been a very peaceful man. We look at his hobbies. And, you know, whether it's the fly fishing, whether it's the usher, or now we call ministers of hospitality in church. And, you know, also I think the whole bingo component, that's an interesting character right there, because bingo can be a combat sport at times. But I will defer, Steve, I just want to clarify one thing. Golf is not really a raucous sport. All right? All right. That's how some people play. And I think maybe Mike Stamel's outgoing gift to you will be a couple pair of golf lessons in your stocking, okay? But seriously, you know, our country is really supported by the fact that ordinary folks take time to support our nation and come back and make contributions. I know some people sometimes get frustrated with the ordinary, but we're all ordinary. But we have our opportunity to contribute. And in this situation, we're here today thanks to you to remember Tom and all his contributions to our society. So thank you. On behalf of both Jake and myself in the Assembly, we too have a citation as well to add to the collection. And thank you once again.
I will now ask Mayor Pat Madden to come forward.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning, everybody. As Peter alluded to earlier, my family is a friend of the Ostrowski family, actually through the Mangoing line. So I was deeply touched to be called and asked to participate in today's event, and I'm here representing the Madden family. And first, I'd like to begin by thanking you for Thomas's life and service. I stand in awe of those who have served. We are a country that depends upon that in both peacetime and wartime. And though he may not have been in conflict, it does not make his service any less valuable or important to our world. I didn't know Thomas myself, but anybody who fly fishes and ties their own flies is okay in my book. I never met him to my recollection, but I'm sure there were times that I probably crossed paths with him out on the rivers over the past several decades. He sounds like he was an amazing man. Our community is better because of his life. It is safer because of his life. And I am delighted to be here to honor him with you today. So thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you for the contributions that he made to our community. Thank you.
Tim Forbes from the Rensselaer County Honor Deceased Veteran Committee will present the committee plaque at this time. Will the committee members please stand?
On behalf of the Honor Deceased Veteran Committee, the citizens of Rensselaer County, and the Veteran Service Fund, please accept this plaque as a symbol of our appreciation for Thomas's service, and thank you all for letting us, for a while, honor him, his service on wonderful. We appreciate it very much.
Please stand for the closing prayer.
Based on all the souls who lay in their own sky, all is well. Passion and peace strength. But will discover this day with my sin. Grant his family comfort and everlasting peace. Amen.
Retire the colors.
All right. Mark.
The committee would like to thank Chairman Stammel for his part in our ceremonies, and we wish Mayor Stammel all our best in the future. Please join us for... Please join us for our next Honor Veteran ceremony scheduled for Monday, January 10th in honor of Thomas P. DiGiorgio. Before we go our separate ways, we will take a few family photos. Then we'll reassemble shortly at our county flagpole to raise the flag in Thomas's memory. This concludes our Honor Vet ceremony for this month. Thank you for coming to honor our deceased veteran for the month of December, Thomas S. Ostrowski.